What do you do when your kid falls in love with a ceramic Bluey piggy bank at Hobby Lobby? If you're me, you don't buy it, you build it. Out of an empty jar, some cardboard, and a big scoop of spackle. Today, I'll show you how we made a Bluey-inspired piggy bank from scratch. You'll learn how to shape, seal, and paint your own custom creation with stuff you already have at home. A little mess and homemade magic, and you'll be obsessed too. Of course, once we decided to make Bluey, we had to do some official research. Knowing that we wanted it to hold some money and be able to open on demand, we decided to use an empty jar. Then the major task was to shape around it. It only takes 3 simple tools: cardboard, which you can get for free from stores like Walmart if you ask, a craft knife or a razor knife or scissors, and hot glue or super glue. We printed out reference photos to help capture the right shapes. I always wish I was more talented at engineering for this step, since the challenge was to make sure it can open and close. And I did have to use my Dremel rotary tool to cut a coin hole in the plastic lid of the jar. I thought a craft knife would do it, but I tried a drill. It was just too thick. Once the rough, and I mean very rough, shape is done, it's time to add the paper mache layer to add stability and smoothness. This is just a 1-to-1 ratio of tacky glue and water. You can also use Elmer's glue wall, and then just adjust if you find it too runny or too tacky. We also have so many paper grocery bags built up, and they make for the perfect paper mache for large projects. We rip them into long, skinny strips. Now, this may not be as smooth or detailed for curves as newspaper is, but I find it very durable. The most important part in this step is to reinforce any areas that could easily break off. For example, I made the strips into an L shape at the base of the ears and eyebrows. I just know my kids are going to pull on those, and they have very little to keep them in place. Once that layer is dry, I use a Weatherproof patching compound by DAP. You can find this at any hardware store. It dries water repellent, but is still sandable and paintable. You can also use an indoor spackle or drywall repair, but I find that it can crumble. I just spread a rough, thin layer with a spackle knife. On some parts I can still see the paper mache through, but that's okay. Be sure to put thicker layers on places that need more reinforcement. After 24 hours, it's ready to sand and paint. I use my handheld Dremel rotary tool to sand it, but you can just use regular sandpaper. This dust is really icky, so always wear a mask. I'm not getting too worried about perfect smoothness on this project, but you can be as picky as you like. Then once we vacuum out and clear the dust, it's ready for paint. Now this is the fun part. This is where the kids really like to get involved because they can see it finally coming to life. I'm using a basic craft store acrylic paint. You can use most any kind of paint. I usually only buy the 3 primary colors plus white and black, and then I just mix whatever custom color I need. It saves me a little bit of money having to buy all the different colors. The details like the smile and the eyes are the fun part. Then make sure the paint is absolutely dry before we do the last step of sealing it. I have tried to rush this step before, and it smears the paint and ruins things so quickly. I use a water-based polyacrylic top coat, but you could just use Mod Podge or an oil-based varnish, even a rubberizing spray finish if you need to extra waterproof it. And ta-da! Your project is ready for collecting coins and cash. I hope you enjoyed this process and consider subscribing for more step-by-step crafting ideas.